All right, here we are, guys, hole number 8. So what we're going to try to do on this is just kind of blast it as hard as we can and just try to get it up there in the fairway. Give yourself a nice pitch. That'll be relatively holeable. The one thing that you'll need to try to perfect here is the amount that you go for the curl. And also your ring adjustment. You'll want to be very careful with where you land here. That looks a bit heavy, but maybe he's going to go for a little bit of an over curl. Yeah, it looks like he's curling rather substantially. So what's probably going to end up happening is it's going to land just a little bit left, and it's just going to end up over curling more towards the center, which is something that you can also do as well. So if you just want to land a little bit more left, you could just go max curl every time. I've been trying to kind of lean away from that because what it does is it creates a little bit too much right angle. I'd rather try to keep that angle down if possible. So I have been trying to land just a little bit more left and kind of back off of the curl because it'll keep it from kind of creating an angle that'll kind of be heading towards that bunker. So what I'm thinking is relatively close to 1-ish per ring, somewhere in there. And you'll see that my curl is a bit less than what my opponents did. But it's because my target line is different. So you'll see that I'm landing in kind of a different spot. And as I mentioned, it lets me just kind of go a little bit more straight with the rollout to kind of just ensure that it kind of threads through there instead of cutting too hard towards the right direction. But either method is technically okay. Now, I believe this has been relatively close to a mid-club distance. So, what I'm thinking here is this shot would probably require opponent to go about 5 rings, more or less. Not sure why he's changing the spot up so much. Not much change between the two positionings that he was trying to land. So what I'm thinking is somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 rings. That's what it looks like. May just be a little bit light with wind effect. Maybe with that great ball, it might end up pushing it. Oh, nope, it looks like it's going to end up stopping short. So, do make sure that you keep that ball guide through. But again, you can almost see that 5, 6-ish rings there in that situation was probably pretty good. Here's the max-ish. There's landing very close to mid-club here, which is about 2 per ring. But you'll need to go just a little bit extra for wind effect. So that's one important factor to keep in mind. You'll see that I'm just kind of keeping my ball guide through the hole a little bit. And as I mentioned, with that little bit of extra correction, the biggest reason for that is wind effect. So, 5.5 rings here. And it looks like I'm actually coming in just a little bit hot. Didn't quite show all of my ball guide, but you can see that my adjustment was just a little bit light too. So I almost had to go into the 6 rings there. A 1-ring pull would have probably ended up making that. So, 6.5 rings. If you're at mid-club, keep that in mind. You got to play that wind effect in the side wind like that. It's going to be a tricky thing to do. So hopefully you're able to get that in that crosswind. Very tough to play the wind effect. So you'll see most guys are going to have a lot of struggles with that pitch from that distance. It's just so much wind effect to have to compensate for. So if you can do something like a wind 5, get that wind way down, turkey ball for instance, it does give you a distinct advantage because you don't have nearly as much wind effect pushing the ball. So good luck there, guys. I'll catch you guys on 9.